Okay, let's go over peace deals here. So, first I'm going to start by clicking this little shield down here, right here. It shows my conquest. This is the same multiplayer game we've been playing. I just logged in since I happen to already be in a war with Japan. So, here we are. We're at war with Japan right now. Japan's also at war with Korea. That has no effect on our war. Here we have the menu. We can see lots of great things in here. We can see there are war exhaustion. Japan is 1.5. War exhaustion builds up faster if you have more of your own provinces occupied. So try to keep none of your provinces occupied. That really helps with not having war exhaustion. This will show everyone who's in each side of the war. We have me over here, Polar Blade, and your subjects will automatically be included in the disorder. So date, Polar Couchhouse, Polar Grave are all my subjects, so they automatically join the war, and all their participation they make is automatically given to me. They don't get their own participation. Blockade percent is how much other country is currently blockaded. A lot of Japan is kind of blockaded right now because they don't have much left. Uichi is their subject, so I cannot separate peace Uichi because if it has the dove with an X, that means I can't be separate peace them because they're a subject. We're going to go in here. Click this button up there. There's some other buttons down here. Close. This will tell you what all is giving your war score. You want to control whatever you declared on. I declared on Hitachi, which I believe is up here. Hitachi? Yep. So I want to make sure that I have Hitachi. That will actually give most of the war score. See, it's giving 3.2 war score. Also, controlling their capital gives a lot of war score. I think I have Kyoto. I do not have Kyoto sieged, but it's usually controlling the capitals anywhere from 30 to 60% war score. It's pretty big. Okay, we're gonna go up in the menu up here. Battles down here also give war score 0.45, 0.30 for these two naval battles here, which I won both of them. Now we're gonna go over here, and I'm gonna clear my offer. You can use clear offer to clear all your demands rather than having to navigate and unclick all the stuff in the menu. And we're gonna go down all these options here. So you notice that I have these provinces transferred to date right now, and these ones are held by me. If you have your provinces transferred, which you can do by clicking in here and then transferring the province to war ally, if you have them transferred, then when you click them in the war menu here, it'll give them to that person. So all these provinces here will go to date if I set up this peace deal. Okay. Of course, they're not willing to accept. Down here, you can see all the reasons they're not willing to accept. Negative 220. The demand exceeds the war score. The war isn't long enough. Japan holds Kyoto, and their military strength is pretty good still. If you're at 100% war score, they don't really have a choice. You can never go above 100% war score, no matter how strong you are. There's ways you can make war score cost less, like in the Age of Affirmation. Since he's a different religion than me, everything costs 25% less, which is why Religious Wars is pretty good. So this is just province demands. I'd like to demand all these provinces. I'm going to go over aggressive expansion here, these little bar here. I get 14 prestige from this battle, from this war. This will cost 118 diplomatic power. So, maybe we don't want to spend 118 diplomatic power. We can reduce that by not taking provinces that aren't, included in the war. That I don't have claims on. Provinces that you have claims on will always be free. They'll cost 0 if you give them to the person who has the claim on it. So, yeah, those two are going to cost 0 because I'm giving it to the person who has the claim on it. I'd like to make sure he gets the correct states. He has claims on this guy and this guy, and this is part of the same state. So We're gonna give them these provinces instead. And I'll probably give them Kyoto later, but yeah. Okay. So those are all the provinces you demand. Here's the aggressive expansion you get from taking these provinces. 36 is pretty heavy aggressive expansion. It shows which countries it will affect. Negative 32 against Japan, negative 36 against Shiba. I don't really care if they're angry at me, so I will suffer 0 overextension because I'm giving it to my vassal, and it will cost me 0 to core because my vassal is going to core them. Okay. Revoke cores tab, I can't access it right now, but you can make countries revoke cores on provinces they used to have, so they can no longer reconquest for them and stuff. We can't really do that right now, but in the future we will be using it against Shiba and stuff. Return cores, we can make a country return cores to another country. We're going to make sure he returns Kozuke to date. There we go. And so reconquesting is always good. It's significantly less aggressive expansion. You can make them cancel subjects. This is kind of expensive. I won't recommend doing it. It gives some prestige. We don't need to cancel Oichi as their subject. You can make them release nations. Previously, there used to be nations in here, so we can make them release these 2 provinces as a separate nation. Hojo as its own separate nation. Takayama. There's not really much point in doing this unless you want to, unless you really need a nation to exist for some reason. The better thing to do is always just take the provinces for yourself and then release the nation as your own vassal rather than releasing it from them. Anatolian treaties. This is a good tab if you want prestige, because Anatolian treaties is always worth prestige. You can end countries' rivalries with other countries, and that's always really good. Like, I can end their rivalry with Brunei, so they can no longer consider you their rival. Or I can also remove their rivalry with Manchu. It gets you a lot of prestige. Treaties is good. You can make them your vassal. You can make them concede defeat. Sometimes you can force their religion. Unfortunately, I can't do that. You can make them give up claims in other countries. None of these are that important for me. You can have them transfer their subjects trade power to you. It's not that important. The most important one you usually want is war reparations. Definitely always take war reparations over straight money. War reparations is always better. So war reparations is always something you want to squeeze in there. If you're leaving a country alive, make sure to squeeze in war reparations. Remember, you don't have to be super aggressive with how you're expanding. Although taking more territory makes it easier to smash them later. If you think you can hold on to it. Making a country separate into small pieces can be useful as well, because then they're easier to break later. They can't defend all their provinces separated all over the place. Okay, that's all of those. Enforced military access isn't very useful because it takes up a relationship slot, so you're just going to drop it, as well as enforced fleet lacing. You don't really need those except for very specific circumstances. If you press shift and then press the plus button, it'll automatically give you all the money that they can afford to give you at that time. So we're sitting at 69 war score here. I might take a couple more provinces. I might decide to end a rivalry. If I end a rivalry, then I'm at 99% war score, and that's a pretty decent war right there. You got pretty much everything you wanted out of it, and a little more, and you can end the war right there, pretty much. So that's how that goes, and you click send demand, and boom, that's done. If you just want to piece someone out for whatever and get them out of a war, and you have a little bit of war score, just press suggest demands and send demand. Offer tribute is basically the same menu, except you are giving stuff to them. It's basically assign surrender. If you think you can get a better surrender deal than you might later, you can be very careful with your surrenders and only send your surrendering when you think you can get the best deal for yourself. Now, if I could separate piece Uichi, like if Uichi was like a secondary war participant, like they were Manchu or something, and they were honoring a call to arms from their ally, I could click here on Uichi. I can't because they're a lesser part. They're a vassal of Japan, so I can't do that, of course. But I would be able to click on Uichi and have them essentially. I don't know why I can't find the words, but essentially, I could have Uichi be a participant, and I can separate piecing. Just so we have Japan. Just click on the next shield down. It'll give you the exact same menu, except you can separate piece someone out of the war. So if you have like 100 war score with Manchu over here, and they're also in the war, and they really want out of the war, you can separate piece with them without ending your war with Japan, essentially. So separate piecing is a good way to remove allies from wars, which is why it's always a good thing to target allies before you target the declaration of the war itself. That way you make sure you are able to separate piece, and it's really good to separate piece out because then you're fighting like half as many troops as you were if they had allies all over the place. So essentially that's how that works. That's how the war menu works. If you have any more questions, you can message me. That's the best I could do for this. Thank you.